All right, hopefully that works. Try this again. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Okay, looks like we're good. All right. I didn't really have any reason to go live or anything outside of testing out the new equipment, which so far was a failure. I got a new camera and a new mic. Figuring it out. But I figured, if I'm testing it out, I got about 15 minutes till my dinner's done. Why not? Thank you to the sister in the comments. I tried to get my background screen to cover as much as I could, but you either get to see my closet or you get to see my bed. So you get to see my closet. I do have this cool mic that actually follows me. I mean, not mic, cool camera that actually follows me around. But I have to be careful because I talk with my hands, and there's hand signals that can actually trigger different things for the camera to do. What's up, Spuds? Also, if you hear a scratching sound, it's a cat who desperately wants to get pet, and he's annoying. So he gets to just stay out there and be annoying. I got a bunch of stuff I still got to figure out. I want to learn how to screen share. Oh, it went away? Ooh, that's not great. What's up, Cinema Saint? John Shiflett. Yeah, I might have hit a, that's what I said, if I move my hands too much, the light, see right there, I did something. I don't know what I was doing. The camera changed colors and it says it's doing stuff, but I don't know what it's trying to do. So I still got to figure all that out. Oh man, this is why it's taking so long, because I don't like when things don't go exactly how I plan. Which right now I have no plan. I was like, I got 15 minutes to kill. Let me see if anybody shows up. Say hi to some people. What's up, 1 foot flipper? He's waiting for that moment where I go big and then people start using my name to throw in some innuendos that I have seen pop up every once in a while. So yeah, what's everybody up to tonight? Anything happening in your area? Anything of interest? My town keeps catching on fire, apparently. I had that big fire about a month ago. And then yesterday, 3 houses. See, there it goes again. I got to turn that off. 3 houses down the road, house burned down. So here's a tip of the day to people out there. When you turn on your wood stove or heater for the first time in the season, make sure it's clean. Don't burn your house down. It's not a good way to start the holiday season. YouTube lives, it's going good. I've had to slow my schedule. So I was getting real good at 3 videos a week. It was Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and that was pretty religious for a while, and that was good. I mean, you could see the charts going up and everything was going good. But I said in a video I made today that one of the big tip, if you want to be as successful as you can at reselling, don't have a YouTube channel. It will suck up a lot of time that you could otherwise be using, but I like doing it. I had plans of having a YouTube channel years before I had plans of being a reseller. And I was not going to make a reselling YouTube channel. It was just when I went to actually get started, that was the thing that was taking up the most of my time. It's the thing I did the most. It's the thing I was most into at the time. So it just was natural. And then I realized quickly that I can't do multiple channels. That's too much. I still eventually probably will do multiple channels when I can find a balance for that. But I think that'll ever happen. Yeah, shorts. Yeah, Wolf Flipper. Shorts definitely get a bunch of views. But I saw a thing where a guy got, it was like 1.2 million views on a short, and he got like $8. So it's good for, I think, bringing in subscribers and viewers. Probably not good for generating revenue. Hi, Julie's friend Lily. Yeah, a D&D channel. I tried that. I tried to get something going. I didn't start the channel, but at the beginning of lockdowns, I was watching a lot of Critical Role, and I was like, oh, I could make a stream with my friends playing. And I was like trying to get a hold of people that I not even played, just people that I knew would be good on camera and creative and all that kind of stuff. And then I realized quickly, I was like, oh, they're professional actors, but they have whatever 2 point something million subscribers. But there's a ton. It's this kind of like starting a gaming YouTube channel. Like, your competition is stiff. There's a lot, but it's one of those things where before I had a family, my plan was just to monetize. That was going to be my channel, monetize my life. I was going to, everything I did, record, put it online, and monetize it. If I was cooking dinner, I'd be cooking live, maybe Twitch, whatever, mix it up what channel it's on. If I was doing a house project, I was going to record it and put it out there. But that just doesn't, to put something quality out, you can't, unless I just did like Big Brother, just filled my house with cameras. It was just live all the time. I live in North Carolina. Any opinion on yesterday's game? I have a great opinion on that game. It was awesome. It was so much better than the last time we played the Panthers. But the Lions, I've been a Lions fan my whole life. We've had a good team 3 years of that life. So this is an odd feeling to have a good team. I saw a stat yesterday. If a team goes 1-4 to start, 4-1 to start the season, they have a 91% chance to make the playoffs. That's not a guarantee, but I'm feeling pretty good. I also placed a decent sized bet at the end of last season that the Lions would win the NFC North. So it's pretty cool because the odds were a lot better at the end of last season than they are now. What's up, Candace? How you doing? Alabama sticking out of this nastiness we got right now, just cold and rainy and miserable. I'd rather it be 2 feet of snow than what we got right now, 45 and rainy. Mine would be about world building. Yeah, I watched for a while. I was watching a lot of like crafting, miniature painting, all those kind of videos. That's actually one of the channels I want to do. I will do. That's actually the next one I have on the docket if I get the time. But I'm going to film it 100% ahead of time and then release. I want to do a full year, but I'll probably do, a quarter. I want to film enough to do a weekly episode and just showing me going from a complete novice and never have painted a miniature in my life to whatever that comes after that year. But I want to film a bunch of it ahead of time, edit a bunch ahead of time, so I don't have any type of schedule or anything. I can just, it's something I like tinker away at and eventually release. Yeah, John Schiffler, your team didn't look terrible. I mean, they there's a lot of rebuilding going on, a lot of issues, but I mean, you're not, for your record's worse than your team is. You guys will bounce back. I mean, it's not going to be that bad. I mean, this year is bad, but you guys are good to go. You got a pretty good quarterback there. I think you'll be all right. Spuds, 2 sales in 2 days. Yeah, it's rough out there right now. I did something a little more aggressive. I ran a 20% sale on anything that was older than 3 months in my store, and that kind of got some stuff moving a little bit, but not anything extreme. Just kind of got it back to where it was. And I went through and I individually selected all those items when I made the sale. And what I'm going to do is those items I'm going to keep running that sale on and not run a sale on anything new I list. And then every week or 2 weeks or whatever seems appropriate, I'm going to increase that sale percentage and just try to move some of that old stuff. And just, I don't know. I'm trying everything. It's just, it's not good. Today I did a little bit of a challenge where I wanted to list as many dollars as I could. So I started with my most expensive item and worked my way down. And, you know, that helps bolster the store. You know, it was only like 6 items because, you know, usually those expensive items, they take a lot of extra time and effort, and you got to put a video with them and all kinds of stuff. But just got to keep trying. And what else are you going to do? Give up? That ain't going to work. William Simmons, my lucky day. 2 of my favorite content creators in one place. Well, I hope one of them's me. Maybe there's 2 in the comments that are your favorite. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's probably me and 1 foot. But William, thank you. Appreciate it. Candace, you don't like the weather? Was it too warm? I mean, I guess, yeah, Alabama's what? Super humid and also warm, like that sticky hot. Yeah. But today, I think you'd prefer to be there. Yeah, I have piles of minis, 1 foot. Just nothing good, nothing super quality, but I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money when I first start. So little sneak preview for, you know, a year from now or whenever it finally comes out. Episode 1 is going to be, I can't spend any money. So I have to go through my house and I'll probably grab one of my kids' toys. You know, I'll grab some like chintzy art brushes from like a pack that's in a drawer that I have to like get the crunchy stuff off. Like that'll be episode 1, like right from the base, just slapping some paint on something and just see how it goes. Because I have more knowledge than experience, because I've watched so many of these videos like slap chopping and all these techniques I know about, but I've never actually put paint to mini to actually try it. Cinema Saint, I'm in love with the idea of having a huge video display virtual tabletop for D&D games. Would love to have that set up right in the middle of my gaming table. Yeah, those are awesome. Like the screen, like just the TV screen mounted in there. And then you can go to YouTube even, and they have videos of grids and different terrains. You don't even download anything. You can just, if it's like a smart TV, you can just go to YouTube and change it. You just type in field gridded whatever, and it just pops up a new one. And they'll have birds that fly through and all kinds of different stuff. It's really cool. I did see one that had a projector, projected it down onto the table, but I think the screen underneath is better because the projector, you know, you put your hands in the way. But either way, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I started on 2nd edition, so I was very theater of the mind, crunchy pencil paper. there was no miniatures. There was no, not maybe might throw out some dice to like position stuff, but it was really just a try not to die. That's what second edition is. Try not to die. Half the monthly sales you were this time last year. Yeah, I checked my numbers from last year just yesterday, and my total volume is down 11%, which isn't, terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. But my sales numbers, my dollar numbers is down 33%. And so I did some digging. It was like, I got to figure this out. Like, what's going on? I got to make some changes. But it was because I had that big shoe buy last year where I had, once a week I'd sell a pair of shoes that was $500 plus, $400 plus. So that really bolsters your numbers. So unless I come across a new vintage Nike shoe deal, I don't think that's going to bounce back right away. Yeah, character building year. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it makes you feel better when you can phrase things. Character building year. Yeah, I just had 3 decades of suffering. That's 3 decades of complaining that we would get good players and then we would destroy them because our team would be terrible. We'd have a Matthew Stafford, we'd have a Barry Sanders, we'd have a Kelvin Johnson, and then the team around them was just dog do. So it's just been terrible. But this is, every week we got players that get hurt and go out, and normally that'd be, oh, well, now it's over. And then the next week, just another guy shows up and crushes it. This is a new thing for me. Watching the game almost got boring because usually I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time because we're always trying to come back and always having to do something. And like, oh, maybe if this happens, we'll win. But from like the get was like, oh, we're going to win this game. This is great. Yeah, a podcast would be fun. They don't get great numbers, but that'd be more of a thing where just, just for fun, just to chat with somebody. My social life is non-existent. So just to hang out with some guys and talk would be pretty cool. You got some spare paint? Yeah, I mean that's what is the kind of the hold up on a lot of it is eventually those paints are expensive, but the good paints, you can see the difference. Like if you do I've seen videos of side by side where like zero skill with good paint and zero skill with bad paint, it's night and day. Yeah, send me a PayPal request for some shipping. I would definitely take you up on that. I'll cover the shipping if you got some stuff you're just gonna get rid of, don't want. Yeah, or even if it's gonna cost me a couple bucks, that's fine because it's. I mean, the good stuff. I mean, you probably know it's expensive. Well, Candace, I think you make quite a few trips back, don't you? You were here this summer, I think, right? Yeah, Cinema Saint. I'm not a huge Wizards of the Coast Hasbro fan just because they're, evil. But I hope their new what do they call it? VTT, the virtual tabletops. I hope they're good. I hope it's good. That I live in an area where I don't have friends that, when you get older, it's hard to find people to play with. It's impossible to get people to stick around through a campaign. Schedules never work. So to be able to play online with other people through a virtual tabletop would be awesome. So I'm really holding out hope that they don't screw it up and microtransaction me to death. Did an art project to see how it changed over the years. Yeah, my youngest, she just came home last week with her first art project from school ever. She is a lot like her brother in that it's more of a I just want to get it done. She's not like being creative, so I don't know. She's a toddler, so maybe that'll change. But right now, they were doing like dot art, and it's like 4 dots, pop, 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 done. She's that's not her vibe. Michael was the same way. He just didn't want to do it. It was homework to him to be artistic. 3.5. I've never played 3.5. I've heard that's the worst. I don't know. I like second edition. This, for those of you that don't know, we're talking a little D&D. This is way outside of my normal content, but a lot of people in the chat play D&D, so we're doing that. And it's something I actually really, really love. But I've heard 3.5 is bad. I've never played. Second edition, I love because I like the crunchiness of it, where there's a chance of actually dying in the game. Fifth edition, if you are playing with people who know how to play, like nobody ever dies. There's no chance of it. Like, oh, my character's gone. Oh no, get into the character, like whatever. But that's what I loved about second edition. But THAC0 is the stupidest thing ever. Like, who wants to do complicated calculus math in the middle of their game? That's useless. That's where 5e is great. That's simple. Actually, chat's going faster than I expected. First to use it buying. Oh yeah, I did see where you were. Sorry if I missed anybody. It's kind of going fast for me. I saw in your video where you did like you were clearing out your death pile, which your basement looks great now. That's one of those things that sometimes you just got to do it, and then the stuff you're listing is not great. So there's usually a reason it's been sitting there. I'm sure you probably found a couple surprises where you're like, oh yeah, I probably should have listed this thing. Spuds, no, I didn't check into that. Anybody in the comments know if they charge, or do you even, is this answered in the next one? Oh, you did check. Okay, yeah, 1 foot checked. Yeah, answered in the comments for me. Thanks. No, I assume they didn't, but I wouldn't put anything past them. They like to get their money. They like to get their cut. Yeah, just 1 foot hit me up through Instagram or something like that, and yeah, I will definitely take you up on that. I it's a hobby I want to do, which is kind of a weird thing to assume I'll enjoy a hobby, but I do like being crafty and I like D&D, so that seems like let's put those together. Oh, Candace, you're moving back. Well, that's cool. Making your dreams a reality. Did you end up going to were you here for the 20-year reunion? Did you end up going? I was supposed to go, of course, and then last minute scheduling issues came up. So that was a bummer, but 25th anniversary, I guess I'll go to. Yes, Craig, go Lions. Yeah. My youngest, she, of course, likes to scream and yell. And, you try to teach them not inside, not in the library. But one of the times I let her scream and yell as much as she wants is during a Lions game. So she is all about go Lions. And she's figured out that when she knows when something good happened. Like, it's not like I have to be like, oh, okay, let's say it. She'll see a touchdown and she's like, oh yeah, this looks like a thing I should cheer for. Go Lions. Yeah, 1 foot. I have heard that. I played on was it Roll20? I did that before, and yeah, there's some toxic people that in their area they have games they could be in, but they are toxic garbage, and so they have to go online. But for me, I can't seem to keep a group together or scheduling all that kind of stuff. Adulting type of stuff. I've heard love and hate for about every version. Yeah, yeah, I get. Yeah, everyone's gonna have their preferences, but the people that think 5e is superior to everything, it just means they haven't played the other ones. But even at 5e, I always end up playing a character that the other people are like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Because I'm bored. I'm gonna push the button. I'm gonna do." The player, am aware that this is dangerous, or I shouldn't push this button, or there's probably a trap. But I'm bored. I want to do something. Okay, and then isn't 3.5, and then it went basically Pathfinder at that point, something like that. I don't know. I never got out. I went from second to fifth, so that was a big change. William Simmons, here's an idea for content, maybe even for you and the foot. When does it make sense to pay up for an item? Something I've been wondering about for a while. Oh, resale question. Good. I'll always pay up for high dollar. So if something's $20, I got to get it for $1. If something is $2,000 and it's got a good sell through, I mean, I might pay $1,200 for it, $1,300 for it. Just because you're still, the dollar amount you're making is high, but the risk in that is a lot higher. So and then sell through rate. I bought a lot of umbrella covers and outdoor furniture covers, and I paid up for that. But the risk was low, and it was scan a barcode, and I had 40 listings of one of them. Scan a barcode, and I had 30 listings of another one. So it was like, I don't know, an hour's worth of work, and I had a couple hundred listings and I don't know, maybe a couple $1,000 in merchandise. And it's taken 3 years for most of them to sell. I've only got like 3 or 4 left, but something like that. I would pay up for something like that. The ease of listing, the sell-through rate, the return on the investment is the big one. If you're going to spend big money, you have to make big money. So that's what I'm saying. If you spend $1,000, but you're going to make $500 off it, I would still do that. Yeah, 1 foot. If it's low risk, yeah. In which that takes time and experience to figure out. But if you got 5 items in your store, paying up is a little more risky, because if you wrap up all your dollars, you have nothing to buy your normal thrift store buys, because you've tied up all of your capital in that one buy. So how much capital you have matters too. Rolling with the Stones, $50. Thea's not here right now, or else I'd never say it for you. Yeah, 1 foot. Hit that like, everybody. 14 people here. That's cool. Cinema State. Okay, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, the wind here is crazy too, and my house is 120 years old. So when it's windy outside, it's windy inside. I every year chip away at it, little caulk here, a little foam here, all that kind of stuff. But it's still windy, still cold. I mean, you see, I'm wearing a winter hat and long sleeves under my shirt. But Cinema Say, thanks for hanging out. Small time bookseller. 1980s D&D on the back porch with a manual. Parents were so worried, so excited when first got a 20-sided die. Yeah, back when you were a devil worshiper if you were playing D&D. Oh, man. Do you have any of your manuals still? Some of that old stuff is worth a decent amount of money. I started going back and buying some of the older books. I've stopped myself, but I used to be a completionist collector. So whenever I was into something, like, oh, now I got to go buy all of them. I'll never read any of these books. I'll never look at them, but I want to put them all on a shelf. But I do like having the older ones. most of them do go up in value. So I have most of second edition, but those first edition pamphlets and stuff, those are real hard to find, and some are a bit pricey. I did go one night. We had a group show up, but heard day 2 was a bigger group. Yes, we've seen the world and the places we wanted, so we will start our move back 2 years. Oh, okay, yeah, you got out for a little bit, coming back. It's our town, it's got its bad qualities, but a place to like raise your kids and live, it's actually pretty good. For all the complaining I do about it, it's pretty good. Colin Tennant, my daughter bought her and her father tickets for the Green Bay game. He said that they had more Lions fans at it than Packer fans. Yeah, they actually released the Packer team, stadium, whatever. They released a statement saying, yeah, like you can do what you want with your tickets, but please don't do that again, because that was embarrassing. Once the game was sealed up and people started leaving, started getting out early, it was a wrap. I actually had quite a few friends at that game. I was pretty jealous. I've never been to a Lions game. I should put that on the to-do list of, things to do. But of course, now they're good. The tickets are always expensive. That's the catch. Your team gets good, tickets are too much. Small time bookseller. How long does it take you to make a video? Prep, recording, editing. Well, prep, none. I do zero prep. Surprise, surprise. You can probably tell by the type of video I make. Sometimes I'll maybe think of a tip of the day before I start. Usually the only prep I do is I'll like clean off the counters, clean up the area, so it just doesn't look a mess. And then recording is not much more than the time of the video, because usually my poll videos are me actually going around and pulling, and I cut out, every once in a while I'll be trying to think of a specific listing, or I'll, how I sometimes am scattered, I'll have to pause and think, what was I just saying, and circle back to something. Sometimes those pauses are a little lengthy, a little longer than I'd like to admit. And then editing, I found, is however long the video is, it's usually double that. And then if I add in a bunch of any of the videos where I add in clips, tack on an extra half hour to that, because I have to find the clip. I have to rip the clip from YouTube. I have to edit that clip, all that kind of stuff. That's very time consuming. That's why it's really sporadic when I do that. And because I always, those little, what do they call it? Oh, I'm blanking. But when you cut to another clip or a little side clip, I have those that they pop in my head. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'll go to YouTube and I'll look them up. And if it takes me more than 5-10 seconds to find it on YouTube, I just go back to editing, because then it's sidetracking from what I'm actually trying to accomplish. But I want to put those in all the time. It's too much. Yeah, Candace. Yeah, send me a message. What kind of cards are they? Are they sports, trading card game, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Marvel? Furlong Pole Treasures. Hi, Drew from Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada. Crystal Beach. I'm very close to Canada. I realized the other day, outside of like Toronto and Sioux, Canada, because it's connected to Sioux, Michigan, I don't know where anything is in Canada. You could name the biggest cities in Canada, and I have no clue where that is. Vancouver, I know the name of it. Is that on the East Coast, West Coast? I don't know. I think it's on the West, because the Grizzlies played there, and I think they were a West Coast team. But again, no clue. It's been there my whole life. I got nothing. Crystal Beach sounds nice, though. It sounds like a place in Florida, but it's probably not so sunshiny. Stace in your face. Yay, I'm happy to see that you finally feel well enough to do a live. Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good for the last 4 or 5 days. There's a delay on my videos coming out. But it was lingering. It would not go away. It was bad. My ear not being able to hear out of it was just driving me crazy. And I felt good for a week, and it wasn't like a little bad. It was nothing. Just could not hear out of it. But I'm feeling great, energized, back to work, all the good things. I was gonna only pop on for 15 minutes, but but people are showing up, so I guess I'll hang out. Small time bookseller. I have some of the dice 8-sided and 20-sided. Some of those older dice sets too. What's the big brand? I'm blanking, but some of those older dice sets also can be worth a bit of change. Excuse me. What is that company? I'm blanking. But yeah, some of those also, because shockingly, good dice are expensive. Like really expensive. Like a good dice set can be like $50. And that's not even getting into like the metal ones or the ones made of rocks and all the fancy stuff. Just like ones that don't roll the same number every time. The Lego Bug. Hey, my friend, great to see you. Lego Bug, what's up? I appreciate you and you said your coworkers watch. That's very cool. My prep, yeah, 1 foot. My prep varies from nothing to nothing at all to hours. Yeah, your videos. I see the theme you got going. You always have not always, but you usually have a subject, and you do a lot of like I've seen you're doing a lot of like top 8, top 5, top 7. I don't see you do a lot of top 10s. It's always like top 8. Is it you just don't want to do top 10, or usually you just get stuck? Yeah, Candace, I think you might be right. That's why so many people love the video content, because your videos are so true. That's what I found myself not liking videos when I prep too much, not liking them for myself when I'd edit it, because it felt disingenuous. It felt prepared, even though some of that stuff is very useful. You got somebody like Cha-Ching King, who his videos are, of course, very prepared, but they're meant to be step-by-step, instructional, easy to follow, to the point, scripted even. I don't know if he scripts them, but I assume he does. But just like small-time bookseller, Cha-Ching King, they're both teachers. And teachers, and then you got Commonwealth teachers. Teachers transition into YouTube very well because they're used to speaking in front of people, and this is how you get people's attention and how you talk in public. Like, they've just been doing it for years. 1 foot. Oh man, it took me a solid hour yesterday to find a clip of American Arbitrage actually saying, "Hi, I am Carrie, American Arbitrage," for a 2-second joke in the video. Yeah, I have to cut myself off because I always am like, okay, I want to use this joke from this show, this obscure reference that only 2 people and myself in the video are even going to get, but I want to do it. But then I realize, okay, well, I can't spend 15 minutes finding it, another 10 minutes to edit it and all that for a joke that 3 people are going to like. And maybe nobody. Maybe I'm the only one that's going to get it, and people are going to go, why is this in here? I just can't spend that time. I wish I could. If I ever get to that point where I get to, hire somebody and the YouTube is bringing in enough money, I mean, my videos will be, I'm telling you, good. That's another problem. I have the ability to edit videos to a much higher level. I just don't have the time. I just can't do it. And that was a big problem when I started, because I would know how to do something, but I would have to cut myself off and say, no, don't take the time to do that because only 35 people are going to watch this video. You need to edit it to the best of your ability in the shortest amount of time that makes sense. And I've slowly been able to add things here and there, but eventually, hopefully I'll be able to do it. Yes, old school flips in the house. B-roll. That is what I was trying to think of. Thank you. I saw you on Commonwealth the other day. I think that's the best interview he's had on his channel. He does interviews every once in a while. Sometimes they feel a little forced. I think that was a good one. Oh, Pokemon. Well, I like to deal with Pokemon. That's my jam. It's so weird. I, as an adult, am very much into Pokemon. As a child, no interest. Didn't like it, didn't want it, didn't play with it, didn't have any cards, didn't watch the show, nothing. And it's not like I wasn't into cartoons. I watched cartoons until, obsessively watched cartoons until a much older age than you would normally watch cartoons. Like, I was a senior in high school, still watching cartoons on a regular basis. But Pokemon, when I was younger, I had no interest in it. And then, as I got older, I got into the money end of it. And then that kind of, once I started actually playing the game, then I actually really got interested in it. I like the game. It's actually got pretty good functionality as far as a deck building game goes. The Lego bug. We are 20 minutes from Crystal Beach and Niagara Falls. Oh, cool. Loganberry. I don't. You could just be saying Canadian places. I don't know. Furlong Pole Treasures by Niagara on the Canada side of Lake Erie. I can see Buffalo from here. Okay, so you're like parallel to me, like kind of in the same what is that, latitude, right? Latitudes across, longitude, latitude. Yeah. There were areas of school I was really good. There were areas that I couldn't have cared less, so not so good. Let's see. 1 foot. The first one ended up being top 8, and I just kept up with that. Yeah, top 10. It's always like it's a nice round number, but lots of top 10s, they're just padding those numbers. Like the first, that's like, okay, we didn't really need these. And then if you do the top 8, and then you're like, okay, well, I had these 2 that are still pretty cool. You just do some honorable mentions. That makes sense. Candace, you have always very true to yourself, and playing away from that, you won't ever feel yourself. That's true. If you watch, it didn't take me long. If you watch my first video and then you watch my second or third video, you can see a switch. It was like the first video I made, I was playing a character of Drew, who was a reseller who had a YouTube channel. And then by like the second or third video, it was Drew. I think what it took is I had to record a video and then edit it and see, okay, this person I'm editing is not me, so let me just be me. I gotta be me. See, that would be a clip I'd put in the video because those things pop in my head. Small-time bookseller. There was talk of creating a list of other YouTubers we should watch. I think added you a couple. Are you still planning that, or did I miss it? I still would like to do that. I want to do it as kind of a, I have a couple ideas for lives, kind of like a long form running thing where people out there can join in. And I think I can, I know I can, I just have to figure it out, where I can like screen share so we could watch clips of different YouTubers and together we could rank them and then I would take all that from all the lives and compile it into a cut down edited version of that. I think that'd just be fun to do. But no, I haven't done it yet. The Lego Bug. We like the genuineness of your content. You talk about the problems and don't try to be slick. It is getting tough to watch some content that tries to come off as reselling. Excuse me. Yeah, it's sad because some of the channels, I don't think they're purposely trying to, and I don't even want to say mislead. I don't think they're purposely trying to like sugarcoat things. And I think it's kind of YouTube becomes its own animal that once you just start being successful, that you see what was successful and you duplicate that, and eventually that snowballs into you're so far from the content you wanted to create or should create or anything that I don't think you decide to end up in that place. I think it just happens, and then you can't go back at that point. You can't just say, oh yeah, I've been being fake for the last 6 months to a year, sorry, I won't do that anymore. So it's sad. It's a bummer to see some people that I really liked watching kind of go that way, but it is what it is. I'm never going to hate on somebody for making money. That's never, unless you're literally scamming people. I mean, you do you, make your money. And if it ever got to that point where I was making enough money on YouTube where I was like, okay, I do need to make these very crafted whatever videos, I would have two channels. I would have one where it's just me being me and one where it's a polished, like dumbed down version of me, that kind of thing. But I don't foresee that happening either. I like to say what I like to say all the time. I actually still have to cut myself off sometimes. Yeah. I didn't read your next one there, Lego Bug, but it's truly crafted to build a social media presence. Yeah, there's some of that. There's a couple that they really, it's gross. There's a couple that it's really gross. I'm just not into it. I try to avoid it, but because I'm in the niche, it pops up. I get notifications, or it gets recommended to me, or even like my YouTube studio, be like, it'll say your viewers also watch these videos. Your viewers also watch these creators, and I'll see the people on it, and I'm like, oof. I hope not. That kind of thing. So I'm never gonna like call them out. Maybe, maybe I will, but you just gotta be careful out there. If you're watching for entertainment, great. If you're not, then be careful. Okay, it's your family is Pokemon hardcore, major hardcore. Yeah, my family was, we did games, but it was all like cribbage, crazy eights. We never really even got into board games that much. But I like complicated games. I like games with a lot of rules. I like learning a new game. I like to sit down and you go, okay, well, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do this? And I want to figure it all out and piece it together and find the best way to play that game, to win that game. But it seems like everyone I play with cries. so it's like the more rules there are, the more chance there are that somebody at that table is going to cry, and not because they're mad or like I'm being mean. It's because they get frustrated, and frustration can turn to not having a good time. I get frustrated game. I go, okay, how do I get better at this? What do I do now? Okay, well, I messed up that time. I won't do that again. How do I want to win? I don't care if it's the first time I've ever played. You played 1,000 times. I walk into a game going, let me know all the rules because I'm going to win. All right, Spuds, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, actually, I was supposed to leave 30 minutes to go to eat some dinner, but I'm having a good time. And we got 21 people. That's awesome. Yeah, Lego Bug, you're like right across. I also have I have a couple other I got a family that watches that they're in Michigan, and if I took a plane, it is directly across the lake, and they're like right there. but to drive, it's like a 5-hour drive. Candace, Drew, school is showing what areas you were good at right about now. Yeah, talking through class. That's what I was good at. I was good at jibber jabbing all the time. Craig, do you always run into Lions gear at yard sales? Hot seller. I always find Raiders gear in San Diego. Easy money every time. All of San Diego pulls for our Lions too. I do find it sometimes. Actually, my dad just got a big haul and he offered it to me. He tried to sell it locally and it just, even with them winning, it just wasn't getting bought up. But most of it fit my two oldest, Michael and Cadence. And so I just split it up between them because he was sick of waiting around. But no, not as often as you would think. Lions fans, I think, are just too diehard. Like once they buy it, they're gonna wear it. They're gonna wear it forever. You'll find jerseys, but it's always a player that was supposed to be good. And then like one of the jerseys of the stuff I gave to the kids was a Kenny Galladay jersey, who looked like the next Kelvin Johnson, but it was because he had Matthew Stafford. Which, if you see that Matthew Stafford effect, I mean, he's just making every team he goes to, his number one receiver is like one of the best receivers in the league, even though when they play on other teams, they are not even close. So I'm not saying Kelvin Johnson, that's different, but I mean, go look at the Rams. It's insane. Let's see. Candace, yes, I have watched you from the very first. Yeah, it was a little different at the beginning, but not much. I hit my stride at like third episode, and it's been basically the same ever since. 1 foot. When the YouTube money gets bigger, then the reselling money just changes people. Yeah, when there is that. Oh, I lost it. When it switches, where the one is making you more money than the other, that you can see it. I mean, I can see it at least in the channel because the reselling aspect of the videos becomes secondary to all the other things in the videos. So, like I said, if you're watching for entertainment, whatever. But if you're watching it to make money, just be careful what you're out there. Here's the one I always say is you don't have to give someone on YouTube money for you to make more money. That's a big one. That doesn't, because you can get all of the information for everything on YouTube for free. So if all of a sudden a channel is trying to suck money out of you in order to better your reselling, nah, pass. And I don't mean like affiliate links and stuff like that. Like I get that. I all of you watching, you can go get affiliate links. You can sign up through eBay, through Amazon. I'm not saying you're going to make a bunch of money, but it's available to everyone, maybe on the planet, but definitely everyone in the US. You can go be an affiliate and put it on your Facebook. You can put it on your Instagram. I mean, it's not difficult to do. It doesn't make you a lot of money, but it's free money. You know, spend a couple hours, you set up the accounts and put them on all your socials. Where are we at here? The Lego bug. Nothing wrong with money. Yeah, I mean, I love money. I'm a capitalist. I very much love money. My hobbies are money. My job is money. My hobbies are money. My mind thinks about nothing. Really, if I'm not actually doing something, my mind is thinking about money all the time. I'm thinking about how I'm going to make money today. I'm thinking about my plans for making money 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the steps I got to do for all that. I'm always thinking about money. JD Purple Cat. Hi, Drew. Really enjoy your videos. I already went through all of them, more than I can count. I have them running in the background while I'm working. Big help, especially if you do this solo. Yeah, that is the, I've said before, I don't like that word community when it comes to almost anything because it's used in Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes and, the girl from your high school that hated you in high school, but all of a sudden it wants you to join her makeup thing. Community is always used. So that's why I don't really care for the word, but reselling is a very solo, it can be boring sometimes, but it can also be lonely. So that part of it, I do like that you can throw on a video. And even though if it's not live, we're not talking, you can feel like you're with somebody in the same thing. You're together, you're co-workers almost, even if you're not actually interacting in that moment. It does help with a lot of that. I used to do that a lot. I did figure out that I am more productive in literal silence. So if I'm trying to get work done, I got nothing, not even music. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little sluggish, I'll throw on something peppy to keep me going. But outside of that, it's crickets. Candace, Drew, I couldn't ever see you being that way. Sorry, have known you way, way too long. We would call you out on it. Yeah, that's. I hope people do. You guys ever see me getting fake? Call me out. Yeah, you guys ever see me turn into something else? Feel free to call me out. Not saying I would change or anything, but sometimes you need somebody to keep you in check, and that's a lot of these bigger channels. Who's the people around them? They're making money, but the people in the comments, the ones like, hey, I miss when you were like this. Personal story. There's a D&D creator named Ginny D. She does she used to do a lot of cosplay stuff, and she made cool videos. And the bigger her channel got, the more fake the videos felt. And she was on X, formerly Twitter, and she was just expressing why isn't people watching my videos? Which she was saying that while she was still getting thousands of views. But when it's your full-time job and you have thousands drop off, I could see how that'd be frustrating. And so I tweeted at her. I said, hey, I can't speak on everyone else, but if you want to know why I watch less of your videos now, I'll gladly tell you. I didn't put it in the post. I didn't want to just bash her or anything, but I wanted to let her know, hey, if you want to know from a viewer who used to watch you all the time, why I don't watch you all the time anymore, because her videos felt disingenuous and a little fake. And she, which was not cool, but still, for someone who's of her stature, she got real mad. She sent a big old tweet to me and went off, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I just won't watch any of your videos anymore. But I was trying to be helpful. I could see why it'd be frustrating for her. She felt vulnerable in that moment, but I phrased it like, hey, if you want to know personally why I don't watch anymore or as much anymore, let me know and I'll tell you. The Lego Bug. Your viewers are slowly dropping lots of content in favor of channels like this. Are there any other channels like yours? Oh, do you mean like smaller channels? There's a couple in the comments that I watch. 1 Foot Flipper. I like his videos. I like the man. Small town reseller. I think I got that right. It might be the reverse. He does only books. I love his content. I love it. I from the very beginning. And that's whenever I shout out a channel on my channel, it's not because they asked me to or anything. It's because I watched one of their videos and was like, I like this. I think other people will like this. You should check it out. If you sell clothing, it's more of the polished videos, but Amber resells. I love her content. I think she puts out great stuff. Who's another one? Mod and Pop Thrifts. If you like stay-at-home dads who are trying to get it done while taking care of their kids, Mod and Pop Thrifts. Actually, if you are not subscribed to them, please do it. He's about to have his 5th child. Yeah. he can probably use a couple subs. and maybe a couple beers. I don't know. 5. That's crazy. I don't know. I couldn't do it. One foot flipper. Our garage sales are full of St. Louis Rams stuff that no one wants. Yeah, well, if you find like some Kurt Warner jerseys, you probably still unload those. But for a team that doesn't exist anymore, I mean they do, but they're not in St. Louis. That's not really gonna help you out too much. Outside of, I guess, if you find like old Expos stuff, Montreal Expos, or Houston Oilers stuff does pretty good. It sells to Tennessee Titans fans. My favorite team, two favorite teams when I was really little were the Houston Oilers and the Minnesota Vikings. Because when you're a kid, you only pick teams because of the color. And the team that my dad was rooting for kept losing all the time. I was like, they're bums. I don't like them. Minnesota's pretty good. Purple. Let's watch that one. And then I like the Oilers. I thought their uniforms were cool. And then they left me to go to Tennessee, and I never watched them anymore. JD Purple Cat loves seeing Mr. Blackbeard. Give him a belly rub. Your baby daughter, $50. So cute. She is the cutest, but she knows it. That's a problem. She knows she's cute, and she abuses it, and she has her dad wrapped around her finger, and I don't foresee that getting any better. But Blackbeard is a pain in my butt because I fed him, I gave him water, but he wants belly rubs right now, and he's scratching at the door. So he's been doing it for going on an hour. Oh, wow. This live has been over an hour. Time is flying by when you're having fun. I will have to wrap it up soon, though, because I do have to eat dinner. So I'll probably I'll probably call it at 6:30. 6:13 right now. I'll have to call it at 6:30 so I can put some food in my belly. But this has been fun. I'm going to do this again for sure. Where are we at? Furlong Pole Treasures. Drew, how many items do you currently have listed on eBay? I don't want to try to open another screen. Let me use my phone. I will figure out screen sharing and all that eventually. I currently have 1,257 items listed on eBay. The volume I am selling, that number is not meshing with me. I have too many items listed for how few items are selling. So I need to do something to change that. That's why right now, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it earlier, I went through and individually selected items. Basically anything there was a few I skipped, but anything that was like 3 months or older, I selected and I ran a 20% sale, and I'm going to increase that sale percentage until some of those items are just gone. If I have almost 1,300 items listed, I should be selling, 10 to 15 items a day, and I'm selling barely half of that. So I don't know. I either have to, again, lower the prices on those other items, get better items, whatever I got to do. But I got to figure it out. That's what it comes down to. Eventually, you just got to figure it out. I would like to, the cap for me where I'd go, oh, okay, you stop buying stuff, just start picking and choosing more expensive stuff, better items. If I ever get to 1,500 items in my store, that's basically going to be the cutoff, because that'll kind of be maxing out my space, and I don't want to expand. That's what happened before, is around 900 items when I used to sell out of big items, my garage was full. And so I switched to smaller items, and now I can fit more, but the sales have not increased with the volume of things I have listed. My sister chiming in, Parcheesi, Drew doesn't like to lose. No, I do not like to lose. If I lose, you better be ready to play a second round. Candace Phipps, I have watched Homeschool Pickers, and they are informative and find interesting things, but question some of their prices. Yeah, that can be a big one, where people are just guessing on videos, which I do sometimes too, but I'll usually say, like, I assume this much, I've sold this before, or last time I sold this. I'll try to phrase it where, if you go, But I always say, check. You should be checking these prices. But yeah, there are some that they just fudge the numbers. It's just usually it's the channels that are strictly thrifting or strictly garage sale videos. Those ones are the ones you gotta be leery of because there's no proof of sale. There's no second part to it. There's like, oh yeah, I bought that's like the American Pickers business model, which I've said before. If you're watching American Pickers to know how to resell, no. American Pickers, it's entertaining. I watched like the first 5 seasons. I liked it. But if you're watching for entertainment, sure. But don't think that you're going to go to a garage sale and buy the same thing and get the money they're saying. That's just, you have to figure stuff out for yourself. Let's see. 1 foot right. No one needs to join my membership or anything to watch my videos or get shouted out or anything. Except your channel, 1 foot. They should spend the money on your channel. Usually I just don't want people to spend the money because it just so little of it actually trickles to me. Like super chats. Like a $5 super chat, I think it's $3.50 of that, and then the rest goes to YouTube. That's a pretty rough cut. I'm never opposed to somebody wanting to donate to the channel and make things easier for me, allow me to buy cameras and microphones and stuff like that, memory cards. But there's better ways to do it in most cases. 1 foot. People who have followings that are emotionally attached to them are bad source for pricing, as they have an insane number of viewer sales. Yeah, viewer sales for me are not. I don't sell. I don't know. I don't think I sell the stuff that would really demand viewer sales, but there are some channels where I can't believe. I think they find out who their viewership, which this isn't terrible. It's an okay business plan. But they find out who their viewership is, and they specifically source items to sell to their viewers, Whatnot sellers, which Whatnot is fine. I try to keep my opinions on Whatnot pretty minimum because some people on Whatnot are actually doing a good job. They get it cheap enough. They sell it at good prices. Everyone in the transaction's happy. But there is a large portion of Whatnot that is scams, so much scams. And gambling. They've found a way to I don't have a problem with gambling, but they're not saying it's gambling. They've circumvented the rules and the laws of a lot of states where they call it like a raffle because you have a chance of getting a thing or whatever. It's gambling. You are literally gambling. It's a crime in 35 states. So Whatnot, I'll never probably, I don't like to say never, but I most likely will never sell on Whatnot. I don't like to use Whatnot. I've never bought anything. I've seen some of the deals people got on Whatnot though, and I think it's too time consuming for me, but I've seen some of the stuff people buy and I'm like, whoa, you got a score. The Lego bug, $50. I think YouTube, I just saw a thing today where they're adding the ability, or maybe they already have it, where you can do GIFs in the comments. I will figure that out and make that a GIF where you can drop it in. William Simmons. I've actually run comps on picking videos as I was watching, and I was thinking while reading. That's a bad idea. That happens to me when I actually read books. I'll start thinking about something like, oh, I just read a whole page. I have no clue what I just read. I've actually run comps on picking videos as I was watching and found some to be dead on and some that were just BS. Yeah, it's, it's not 50-50. I would say, I don't know, this is just a total guess, but I'd say 90% of the people out there are just trying to show you what their business is and put it out there. And there's 10% that's, and I wouldn't say that, I'd say there's 8% that's legitimately scamming people and trying to do nefarious actions. And then there's 2% that is somewhere in the middle. Like, they're not really trying to scam people. It just kind of happens. The Lego bug. When people get angry, especially when you are trying to help, you are likely to close to the truth. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Yes, one of the financial gurus I follow, that he says that all the time, where there's smoke, there's fire. It doesn't matter that the company I'm investing in, it's a rumor that this bad thing has happened. I still need to pull a portion of my money out of that company, because when there is smoke, there is usually fire, and you don't want to be there when there is the fire. Small town, small time bookseller. Mod and Pop Thrift has 5. 6th on the way. Oh, wow. Because 5 sounded insane. 6 is actually insane. That's crazy. The funny thing is, it used to not be that crazy. My dad's one of 7. My neighbors, the wife of my neighbor, she is one of, I think 10, but I want to say 12, like a lot. And they grew up in the house they live in now, and it's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And the upstairs, I think, was a, oh, my camera turned yellow. That's a new color. So I don't know what happened there. Oh, it's like I said before, it thinks it has like hand signals, and I talk my hands, so it thinks I'm telling it to go to the whiteboard. But either way, I think they had like a loft upstairs, and they had like rows of bunk beds. That used to be a normal thing. Now I'm like, how? Well, I guess, inflation doesn't help. When you could actually afford groceries for all these people. That was better. Where are we at? Tantalon Treasures. Nice nod to Canada with the Labatt Blue toque. Yeah, you're definitely from northern Michigan or Canada if you call it a toque. But yeah, when I was a beer drinker, Labatt Blue, favorite beer by far. Least favorite beer, Labatt Blue Light. Labatt Blue Light is the most disgusting beer I've ever had in my mouth. And Labatt Blue is glorious, and I miss it. But I found out that I have a gluten allergy that I've been suffering from my whole life. And so there goes the beers. 1 Foot Flipper. A lot of the biggest channels actually price guess everything they list. Yeah, I could see, they probably just don't have to care. It's I don't know. Yeah, they do zero research. Yeah, I've seen that too. I don't get it. I don't get how people want to do their business so bad sometimes. But I try not to stress out over other people's businesses, because mine's stressful enough. Candace, Drew, I just about said, what are you talking about? It's only 5:13. Yeah, time zones. The Lego bug. Go eat, my friend. This was great. Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap it up here real soon. So if you haven't, could you do me a favor and hit the thumb? I know that's a thing people ask for. I got 20 people in right now. I think there's a little thing that'll tell me how many people I had. Had 24 concurrent. That's pretty cool. So let me see how many I can get through. I'll try speed round. I do my resourcing in our 2-car garage. It's full of money pile. Came handy during the shutdown. I'm in California. There are Goodwill and bins close by, and a thrift store that weekly has. Yeah, that's my Goodwill. Sells stuff at retail. Does not do like different color day tag sales, and no bins, no discounts, no nothing. It's a feeder store for other Goodwills. So my Goodwill is a complete waste of time. Rolling with the Stones. Josh and I have friendly arguments about whatnot because I refuse to use it as a reseller. I want to do a video about the history and truth about the platform. I know some of the YouTubers that were some of the first to use it. They now are working on a class action lawsuit. Oh, because they were used by the company for their influence. Yeah, when it first came out, it gave a scammy vibe. Like they were really trying to push, a lot of stuff. And now there's like like whatnot ambassadors, and like it's not a public company. So their numbers, like their financial numbers, are not out in the public. And they were spending a ton of money on advertising. And when things are bad, that's the first thing you're supposed to cut is advertising. And they were doing the opposite. They were shoving money into advertising and endorsement deals and all that kind of stuff. But it's not a public company. So none of that stuff, they don't have to disclose it. Or else I would be digging through those numbers. I would be very interested in that video. Flipping for change. Shalom. Glad to catch you live. Have been watching for a while on my personal channel and really enjoy your authenticity. Just want to say, hey, flip and change. I think it's the same picture on both. So I think I recognized you, but I do appreciate it. I also have two channels. I have like my Tip and Mitt Flips channel, which I usually have only, I'll sub to resellers. And I'll also sub to channels where I just want to give them 2 subs. But then I have my like personal one, which is like mostly my content I watch. And sometimes you make the cut on both. The Lego bug. Yes, Whatnot has its place, but it does not fit with this kind of content. You hear well-known pickers grab a tote of $1 plush and say, this is just for Whatnot. It's like selling crap. Yeah, I don't know. I've never sat through more than a couple minutes of a Whatnot. I've seen clothing where it was actually like good deals, but to know, okay, they're going to sell the clothing I want in the sizes I want. Like, how do you know that ahead of time? I don't know. Let's see. Rolling with the Stones were some. Oh, that was the second part of that one. Jen in the comments. Whoa. What the actual live feed is going on? What did I miss? Well, you missed an hour and 17 minutes of a live. I was just wanting to test out my camera. I also wanted to test out my mic, but that was a fail. I actually had to restart. But it's been an hour of 15 minutes of fun. And I am going to dip out here in a couple minutes because I do have to eat some food. And I have to pet a cat that's just super mad at the door. He's real mad. Craig, awesome job today. Coach Angstren of the Lions has been my son's best friend since they were the age of your little $50 princess. I hope you're eating and not reading this straight up. Nope, still eating. I'm still reading. But that is really cool. So you want to hook me up some Lions tickets? I doubt that's possible, but really, really cool. It's still, even though it's not someone you know, it's cool to have like that, like secondary knowing somebody. My old roommate, one of his best friends growing up is a guy named Frank Zombo, who was drafted by the Packers, won a Super Bowl. He was a second, third string tight end. He was okay, but he wasn't like a big deal. But on the Green Bay Packers when they won a Super Bowl, traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, won a Super Bowl, out of the league. So he played like 5 years, 2 Super Bowl rings. Went back to, I think, where he grew up, hanging out in the same with the same friends he grew up with. I mean, what a life. Yeah, Jen, fashionably late. It's all good. Next time I'll put like a prompt that it's going to happen. Small town, small time. This was fun. Perfect time for me after work, waiting on daughter's marching band practice to the end. Yeah, that's another thing is I got to figure out a time. I get real tired. I get real sleepy, but this has been fun. So if you're having fun, it's a little easier to do. But like One Foot, he starts his lives at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, dude, I'm about to go to bed. Colleen, I agree. Your Goodwill was awful when I went a month ago. Yeah, it's the worst. I don't really know. I mean, I know how they stay in business because they don't really pay their employees very good and they get their inventory for free. So that's how they stay in business. They have no overhead to speak of. But it's the worst. Even their books, it's like $2 a hardcover, like insane. Jen, did I step into a fuss fest? No fuss fest. Just expressing our feelings. Candace, have a good night. We'll send a message. Yeah. Shoot me up. Hit me up. No, don't shoot me up. Hit me up. Send me some pictures or something too, if that, because that's easier. If I can just, you can just spread them out, scan them through them, that kind of thing, unless you really know what you got. Jen, 2 subs. I don't know what that means. JD Purple Cat, thanks for sharing your knowledge, Drew. Be nice to Mr. Blackbeard. I have 15 cats? Please tell me some of those are outdoor cats. That's a lot of cats. But I bet you know what? I bet you probably have 3 or 4 that don't care, that are just like living their life. They happen to live in your house, but they don't care about you. They don't care about the other cats. I had a cat like that one time. You'd see it every couple days. It'd meander out. It had a really gross meow. Like, yeah, it was real bad, especially middle of the night when she would actually meow. Jen, I have a very exclusive connect to a Sam's Club where I can buy items in bulk at discounted rates. I'll try to pull some strings. Ooh, that's awesome. Oh, it was it was a movie quote. Okay. All right, folks. Well, I did say I was going to cut it off at 6:30, and I lied at 6:32. But I do have to eat some dinner and pet a cat. This has been really fun, though. So, I mean, I have a video I think is going to come out tomorrow. So I probably won't do a live tomorrow, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a live and then as a little preview, and then have the video come out, or vice versa. But thank you, everyone. If you haven't, maybe hit the like on the way out. I appreciate all of you. We will do this again.